Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. Today is October the 30th. We will go through a quick recap of what we saw in the NBA yesterday as far as the best that I made, as we always do. We'll go through a couple of the comments and jump into a couple of the games that I want to break down for today. I've said this a couple times on the show, but I'm not going to break down every single game on the show just for time purposes because I like to go through the comments as well. But I think I got 4 games I want to get to. Some of the earlier games. I think it's 8 games on the board for today all together. Hit the like button for me as you join. Let's jump right into it, man. Let's jump right into it. No time to waste. I'm coming off a 1-2 night last night. I took the Brooklyn Nets plus the 6.5, and that was a scary winner. Shout out to Dorian Finney-Smith for getting the backdoor cover. Got a layup. Brooklyn just couldn't score in the second quarter. Couldn't score in the overtime at all, and offense really got shut off. In the second half, they really struggled going down 8. I didn't even think it was going to get to that point. Lauri Markkanen gets hurt, so it's over 2.5 threes. It's a loser. And the Golden State Warriors forced the New Orleans Pelicans into 23 turnovers last night that lead to 34 points off turnovers last night, and they end up winning the game, going well over their team total of 108.5. They end up getting to 124 points, and that was a big reason why. The teams do face off again today, but I mean, that's a terrible blow. 24 turnovers last night that led to 34 points off turnovers for the Golden State Warriors. And there's some things you just can't quite predict and project. Zion Williamson had 7 turnovers. CJ McCollum had 4. Brandon Ingram had 3. And Golden State Warriors take care of the New Orleans Pelicans, even though they were shorthanded. So looking for a bit of a bounce back today. I thought the plays were great, but like I said, Lauri Markkanen gets hurt. The Pelicans can't protect the basketball. Let's go through a couple of the comments, and we're going to jump right into it for today. Prestigious Party says he's first. Good morning, bro. What up, Jeff? Top of the morning to my guy, Justin. Damian in here. CG3 in here. Good morning to you. Good morning, Kristen. Ball Talk says these garbage slates been killing me. It's been, I thought the slate was actually not the greatest yesterday, but I like the plays. Did like the plays that I played yesterday, and I was not. So I did send out the Pelicans. Not the Pelicans. I put it in Discord, but it was late anyway. It was Denver. It was Dallas team total under at the end of the third quarter. They still end up getting over their team total. I think it was 118.5. So I lost a little bit on that as well. Wasn't an official play, but did share that with the Discord last night as well. Dallas just. I said, Julius Randle's going to take some time, man. Timberwolves couldn't stop turning the ball over either. I stayed away from the full game and still got bit with the Timberwolves yesterday. What's up, Lucky? Says, good morning. 5-star joined as a member. Appreciate that. Brian says, good morning, Chris. Looking for, looks like a win for the Pistons tonight. That's one of the games I'm going to break down. What's up, Fear Elite? Miles says, good morning, Chris. Liking Cavs if D-Lo doesn't play. They went 1-5 straight up with every loss by 8 in games he didn't play in. That's a hell of a look right there, Miles. I'm going to talk about that game because I got something very similar that correlates with that a lot. We're going to talk about it. What's up, 5-star? Appreciate you joining as a member. What's up, Andrew? Jack says it's a big slate. Let's jump into it, man. Good morning, Val. Appreciate you. He says coffee and ChrisBeCappinn. I-95 Boston traffic. Let's get this bag. Shout out to you watching in from Boston. What's up, Justin? He says, Chris, I sent you an email in regards to Discord. I emailed you back, Justin, about 5:45 this morning, my brother. Check your email. I sent you the Discord link. Should be in there. If you don't got the email, let me know and I'll email you again. But I did see your email when I woke up this morning. And 5-star, if you sent it to me, if you sent me an email, I don't think I got it unless it was recently. What's up, Dropping Downs? Alex says I went against my better judgment and bet Clay points. Never again. Mr. Cardio out there. It was a Timberwolves spot yesterday. They just looked really flat. Andrew says I watched too many NBA shows and got paralysis, too much analysis. That'll do it to you every time. Yeah, I hate emails, Justin. I hate emails and notifications, so I try to get back to them as quickly as I possibly can when I got a free minute. Appreciate you for even requesting a link, my brother. I see you in the Discord later today. Let's jump into the game. But before we do, I got to talk about jaXon again. I've been telling you guys about jaXon. It's an AI sports betting powerful tool that you can use to kind of gather information, predictions, analysis, injury updates, all that good stuff. There's a promo for it in the description of the video if people are interested. I see a lot of people joining, a lot of people signing up using that 50% off discount code. I would encourage everybody, even more people to do it, but a lot of people have been signing up. So, and I'm also getting some feedback. I see some people left some comments yesterday, said they love it. It's been cutting down the time for to analyze the game. I'll give you guys something real quick because I'm on the Peloton this morning. I'm running, and give me a quick little workout in this morning. And I'm like, I want to have this for the show today. So I just typed in I did this last night. I had already looked into the game, but I type in analyze Pistons versus 76ers. That's the only prompt I said. And I'm going to read off what jaXon tells me. jaXon says, all right, let's dive into Pistons versus 76ers matchup happening tonight at 7 p.m. Here's a detailed breakdown of the game, including team analysis, betting lines, and player props. Game overview. Detroit Pistons, 0-4, are still searching for their first win of the season. They've been competitive in their losses, but they've struggled to close out games. Cade Cunningham has been a standout, averaging 26.5 points, 7.5 assists, 5.8 rebounds per game. Jaden Ivey has been solid, contributing 20.8 points per game. Philadelphia 76ers, 1-2, are coming off their first win of the season in a 118-114 overtime victory against the Indiana Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton has been on fire, dropping 45 points in his last game. However, the 76ers will be without key players Joel Embiid and Paul George due to knee injuries, which significantly impacts their interior defense and offensive firepower. Then I get the betting lines, and I get key storylines. 76ers injuries. The absence of Joel Embiid and Paul George are major factors. Without Embiid, 76ers were 16-27 last season in a defensive struggle, ranking 23rd in points allowed, 117.7 points per game. This opens up the opportunity for the Pistons, especially in the paint, where Jalen Duren could dominate the boards. Pistons young core. Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey have been bright spots for Detroit. Cunningham is averaging 26.5 points, and Ivey is contributing 20.8 points per game. Detroit's defense has been decent on the road, allowing 109.5 points per game, which ranks them in the top 10 for their road defense. Then it goes through player prop analysis, which I won't read all that. Game predictions. Spread pick. Pistons plus 3.5, minus 108 on DraftKings. The Pistons have been competitive in their losses, and the 76ers missing key players. Detroit has a good chance to cover the spread. Their young core led by Cade and Ivey should keep this game close. Total pick, over 217.5. Both teams have defensive issues, and with the 76ers playing at a fast pace without Embiid, the game could see plenty of scoring. The 76ers have hit the over in every game this season, and the Pistons perimeter defense could the Pistons perimeter shooting could exploit Philadelphia's defensive lapse. Final thoughts. This game is shaping up to be closer than expected, especially with the 76ers missing Embiid and Paul George. The Pistons have a real shot at covering the spread, and the over looks like a strong play given both teams' defensive struggles. Keep an eye on Cade Cunningham and Tyrese Maxey as they will be key players to watch. Let me know if you need more information or other prop recommendations. So that's just a little bit of what jaXon can do, man. And we're gonna actually get into that game because I got some similar thoughts to what jaXon talks about. But if you guys are interested, like I said, the promo code is in the description of the video. And let's just go straight into that game. So let's go Detroit 76ers. You guys already heard jaXon kind of talk about it a little bit, but what I wanted to talk about in this game, this is one that I haven't quite played yet. I saw this line open up at about 3.5 yesterday, and then it moves to 4.5, and it touched 5, and now the money's coming back in on Detroit. It's coming back down. It looks like the number right now is 3.5, which is what you see on the screen. 217 is the total in this game, and it does look like it's starting to trickle up just a tad bit. I see some 218s, some 218.5s out there as well. So injury report, first and foremost, jaXon just kind of talked about how the 76ers will continue to be without Joel Embiid and Paul George. And on the opposite side for Detroit, just Asir Thompson and Clinton, who hasn't played. Neither one of these guys have played any so far this season. In this spot, I still feel like we get a very motivated Detroit team. They have not won a game yet. They've actually been owned by the Philadelphia 76ers as well. Philly has actually beaten Detroit 9 of the last 10 games, and they've covered 8 of the last 10 spreads. Most of those spreads were by double digits just because Philly has been so much better than Detroit. Now you see a very, very short line here. And I want to preface by saying this. Now is the time where we do have to kind of start looking into these spots. Detroit is on the 4th game in 6 nights. Last of a little short 2-game road trip. For Philly, they got a big win versus Indiana the other day in their first win of the season. And they have more rest after the game as they don't play again until they play Memphis on Saturday. But I want to go to something else real quick and just share. Shout out to Joe the Gambler. Last night in the Discord, he sent me something that I want to share with you guys as well. He sent it to all of us, but I want to share this with you guys as well, just really, really quickly. Joe says he found the trend that I want to share. He said, crazy trend here. So what the trend pretty much is saying is that since the 2016 season, if you're playing game number one of the first 10 games of the season, you previously lost, you coming off 2 losses, and you previously covered both spreads, you do not play well in the next game. And that is a trend that's active on the Pistons. Today, says that they potentially could get smoked in this game. And it's actually active on the Raptors, which we'll talk about that game in just a second as well. 2-17 straight up, 1-16-2 against the number. I like Detroit in this game. I think they can keep it close. The 4th and 6th night scares me just a tad bit, but you also got Philly coming off an overtime game. So this is a game where I think this is my overall consensus. I think when I think about this game, I think about the Pistons. And we've talked about this last week. The Pistons have ran out of gas late. Tobias Harris looks like a shell of himself. He looks terrible. He will be back in Philly tonight, and I think that's something to take into consideration. But I think if you bet the game, why not take Detroit early? Detroit runs out of gas in the 4th quarter. They lose the 4th quarter by an average of about 8 points per game so far. I do think that as they get more continuity and buy into JB Bickerstaff's scheme, that they'll look a little bit better. So I like Detroit. If I'm playing them, I think I want to play them first half, and I'm not sure what the best number is, but that seems like it makes the most sense to me. Is Detroit first half. I want to get a number real quick for you guys. Let's see. Oh. Detroit is 2-2 so far in the first half. And you got a Philadelphia team that is 1-2 against the spread so far in the first half. So I kind of feel like with them being winless still, they probably do come out and play their best basketball early. Detroit first half will be my top play in this game. Let's see. Yeah, if you DM me on Twitter, Sam, at ChrisBeCappinn 2 P's 2 N's, or you email me at ChrisBeCappinn 2 P's 2 N's, I'll send you the Discord link. Justin says he just got it. JD says I need the Discord link as well. You just gotta send it to me. I did see that Embiid got fined. Shout out for Andrew for putting that in the chat. What's up, best cases? What do you think about Malik Beasley over his 8.5 points plus assists? Bounce back? Not something that I looked into too deeply, so don't let me talk you on or off of that, SK, at all. What up to my guy, Sai? What up, bro? Andrew says 76ers minus 3.5. Pistons are live. I think the Pistons are live in this game as well, man. I really, really do. Man, it's yeah. I just think they're live. What up, Ski? It's 5 a.m. show, man. I'm still lit from last night. Oh man, what's up, Mosher? Alex says, I was thinking Tobias Harris could go crazy back versus old team. He's been looking real bad. Maybe he's been saving it, Alex. Maybe he's been saving it for this game. It makes a ton of sense to me that Tobias, I know people not gonna want to play Tobias, but I think Tobias could have a big game here too. I think Detroit first half might be the best player on the board. I get scared of them for a game. You can get a +2 right now for Detroit first half on Bet365 and on Caesars. I think that they come out with some energy and some motivation in this spot. And it's not that Philly won't. I kind of like the spot here for Detroit. I haven't quite bet this one yet. Let's move on to the next one. We got Raptors and Hornets. This line has moved to 6.5 now. Opened yesterday. I want to say it opened at let me just find my notes real quick. It opened at, I think I saw 4.5. Maybe even lower than that. And the news came out for Toronto that they're gonna be without, some big guns here. So injury report for this one, the Raptors will be without Scotty Barnes, which of course is pretty significant. He's the best player that they have on the team. He got poked in his eye and didn't return to that game in Denver on Monday night. You also got quickly listed as doubtful. Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk continue to remain out. On the Charlotte side, they still would be without Brandon Miller, looks like, and Mark Williams, who hasn't played a game yet this season. So this one is pretty simple for me. And it's not as simple. It's a buy-on spot, I think, for Charlotte. I know it's a big number that you're laying with Charlotte. If you still like them at this time, 6.5 is a lot. But when is the last time that the Charlotte Hornets were actually laying 6 points as a favorite? We will probably have to look for quite some time. And I know that Toronto is 6-1 against the number. It's 3-1 against the number in their 4 games so far. February 23rd, February 27, 2023, they're laying 7 points as a home favorite. So it's been well over a year, probably about a year and a half, since the Hornets have been laying this 3 points. They beat the Pistons that game. They've actually won the last 3 times that they've been a favorite at 6 points or more. Granted, those were back in 2021. But this was a game, man, I just want to fade Toronto. I do think it's a fade for Toronto. It's 4th game in 6 nights for them, and they're coming off an overtime game versus Detroit. 4th straight game with travel as well. They were at home. They had to go to Toronto. Then they went back home to play against Denver, and now they got to go to Charlotte. Charlotte on the opposite side, coming off 3 days rest. So very well-rested team. A second of a 4-game homestand for them. Didn't have to travel before the last game. Toronto has covered. They have won 3 straight in the head-to-head matchup and 7 of the last 10. I think Charlotte wins this game, though. They're just 2-3 straight up, 0-5 against the number last season as a home favorite. But none of those games coming against Toronto, but they are 3-1 against Toronto ATS last season. So the other thing I looked at was road dogs playing their 4th game in 6 nights, kind of the trend that I talked to you guys about, in which the last game was an overtime game. Lose by average of about 7.5 points over a sample size of about 330 games per sport. So even if the line, what did I write? That's what it is. And if the game is within the first 5 games of the season, the smaller sample size is 1-8 straight up, 3-6 number. So I know it's a smaller sample size, but I think the rest advantage here says that Charlotte gets the first big win of the season. I like Charlotte in this spot. I do like them. I think Toronto runs out of gas. I know it's been difficult to fade them so far this season, but I like Toronto. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one, if anything. Thanks for the BI insight. Yeah, Brandon Ingram had a really good game yesterday. I should have probably played him. I said it's a contract year for Brandon Ingram. His name is still written down on my notepad, along with Anthony Edwards. And those were the 2 guys I didn't play yesterday. They cashed pretty easily. I also wrote Larry Marketing down, and that's the guy that I played. And gets hurt, of course. It is what it is, man. What's up, Mark? AB says Kelly Oubre over 1.5 threes. What up, Chris? Okay. 1.5 threes makes a lot of sense. That Detroit Pistons defense is not great at defending the 3-point line quite yet. Justin says got to dig into more of the Pistons size, but love the over here. I think it is an over game as well. It'll be over on Detroit for me for sure. Only thing that kept me from playing it last night, the over, was just the teams. You got teams coming off overtime games, and the team coming off a team in a fourth and 6 nights. Could be a little bit of an underspot. CG3 says this game, he thinks this game goes under. I could agree with the under here. Without Scotty Barnes, I could definitely see this game being an under game. Real quick, I want to share something with you guys. Kind of look at something real quick while I'm on the stream before we get over to the next game. So if we look at the Toronto Raptors so far this season, I want to see the Raptors with Scotty Barnes on the floor versus without Scotty Barnes on the floor. So the Raptors this season with Scotty Barnes on the floor, they are minus 16 in point score per 100 possessions, averaging just 101.1. So that lends itself to an under for sure. If we look at Scotty Barnes off the floor, They're actually a plus 10.4 with Scotty Barnes off the floor. That makes no sense at all. Um, guessing they were playing against some backups, maybe in one of those games where they got blown out. That's the only thing I could think of. I know that they lost big to Cleveland on opening night. Maybe that's when he didn't play as much. That doesn't make a lot of sense that they've been actually better without Scotty Barnes on the floor. Justin says, I got a little bit late, but they won Charlotte 6.5. Yeah, I saw it starting to move, and I sent out the 5.5 yesterday. AB says Hornets extendo spread to 10. What's up, Frankie? Says guys started early today, huh, Chris? I try my best, man. I try my best. Tomorrow says game numbers less than 10 and rest equals 3, and opponent rest is 1 and home. Let's see what tomorrow got for us real quick before we move on to the next one. This says that the Hornets cover at a 65.5% rate right here. So first 10 games of the season, you have major rest advantage, 3 days compared to opponent only having 1, and you're at home. 46-27 straight up, 45-27-1 against the number 62.5%. Says this is a Hornet spot today. What if you add that your opponent is previously coming off an overtime game? Just 1-0 straight up, 1-0 against the numbers. So it comes down a lot. But I like that a lot tomorrow. Definitely some more. We got it right here, 45-27. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. What's up, Brian? He says he likes Magic minus 4.5, Blazers plus 8.5. Hornets have been underdogs in all of their games so far this year, right? Is this their first time being finished? It is. They played against a pretty difficult schedule, right? They had they beat the Houston Rockets outright in game 1. They had the game against Miami. They were dogs in that game. And then who was the third game against? I can't remember who the third game was. It was another game that they played. I can't remember who that was. Yeah, I do think it's the Hornets spot. Did not look into Miles Bridges props at all, CG3. And AB says he likes Nick Richards double-double. That makes a lot of sense, plus 110 on DraftKings. The Raptors are not a great rebounding team, even though Jakob Poeltl is a pretty great rebounder. Scotty Barnes is somebody that rebounds the ball really, really well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle the game without Scotty Barnes, because he does so much for the team. Let's move on. Let's keep it pushing. Next game up, we got Celtics and Pacers. This game will be played in Indiana. Injury report for this one. We got the Indiana Pacers looking like they'll have everybody. I do see Miles Turner listed as game time decision. He's listed as questionable due to a left ankle sprain. That is not good if you like Indiana Pacers at all in this game. And then on the Boston side, of course, no Porzingis. Sam Hauser looks like he's going to make his return. I think he's missed the last 2 games for the Celtics, but he is listed as probable with a back injury. So for the Celtics, first you get them off 1 day's rest. This is the first of a road trip that's at least 4 games for the Celtics. And the Pacers, this is the 4th game in 6 nights for them. They've had to travel for every game so far, and they head to New Orleans for their next game on Friday as well. This was a spot where I kind of wanted to get there with Indiana. As a home dog last season, this was a team that you really wanted to buy in on. Now, I know so far this season the Pacers have been a fade, but they did take my money against Orlando the other day. They're still going to play hard. Last season, they were 8-6 straight up, 10-3-1 against the number as a home dog. And they covered 6 of the last 9 games last season. They covered 6 of the 9 games last season against the Boston Celtics as well. I just don't really like it as much. I know Boston is pretty much unfadable. 4-0 against the 4-0 straight up. They've covered, and they covered every game I think except the Detroit game so far. The other thing I wanted to look at in this game, because I don't really like the side as much, just wanted to share that. The other thing I thought was interesting was the total though. 232.5. I do kind of feel like it's an over game. I think it's up now to 233. Yeah, it's moving. 234.5 is all the way up. This was at 232 last night. The Pacers in those games home dogs last season, 9-5 over. The series between the two teams, they played 9 times, including the playoffs, 6-3 to the over. And this feels to me like a spot where you still gonna have an Indiana Pacers team that's not gonna be Like they're already not great defensively, but a 4th and 6th nights tells me that they just want to play fast and get up and down the floor. We know the Celtics are the number 1 offense in the NBA. This feels to me like a Celtics spot where both teams should be able to get up and down the floor and score. You want Miles Turner in there, but if he doesn't play, that's even more offense because it's less defense. So I would look over in this game. You still can get. It feels like the total is moving. It's on the rise, but the total right now hasn't moved. It's 233.5. It was moved a point and a half. I do expect the money continue to come in on this and push it probably up to 236. Only 234.5 right now is the highest number. So up about 2 points is how I feel about this one. Over 233.5 minus 112 over on FanDuel is the best number if you're playing this game. That would be my recommendation. LJ says he's going back to Boston first half on the road. They can cover -8 first half. Tomorrow says Pacers playoff revenge. Pacers off the loss. Don't got it. Celtics -6 in his pocket. This is playoff revenge too. I forgot about that. That's one of the reasons I wanted to kind of get this. I think I did. 5-star likes the over. He says CT3 likes the over as well. Will says top of the morning, everybody. Call me crazy, but I like the Pacers team total under 113.5. So he thinks that the Pacers do struggle to score here. PZ says he's going to stay with red hot Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard is going crazy right now. Like, I don't know what he eating for breakfast, but Peyton Pritchard has been cooking, man. I don't know if people have been paying attention. He may get less shots now, PZ, just because Sam Hauser is back, but, he's anchoring this. He had a better game than Tatum the other day. Mark likes the Celtics -6. He says, on the trust the first half as well. JM says he's going to parlay the -3.5 of Boston. Paul says Pacers getting smoked in Orlando before Franz went out in the second half. That's a fact, man. That killed me the other day. I feel like I've been catching the worst beat ever so far to start the season, but they were getting smoked. They were down double digits at halftime. AB likes the Pacers team total over. There's definitely some conflicting trends. Jeff says the Pacers are 5-2 to the over. First game of a homestand as well. But this isn't a homestand. I think they go out on the road after this one. At least that's what I wrote in my notes. They head to New Orleans. I think they are in New Orleans next game, Jeff. Let's see. Timeout says, just when you feel like the Pacers will step up, they don't. Boston might win this game by 15. Too many pieces, better bench, and better shooting, and the rest advantage here. All those are facts. I think this might be why we see it over. I'm not really betting on the Pacers to stop anybody. The thing I think from a player prop perspective, when the Pacers are on the second leg of a back-to-back or one of these really bad trouble spots, like not trouble spots, but just like resting standing spots where it's a 4th and 6th night, you want to take the player that's going to get downhill and attack the basket. Who was that last game? Paulo Ventura. He had 50 points in that game, and he missed 5 free throws or 7 free throws. Yeah, he missed 7 free throws. He shot 22. So the Pacers are going to be a team that, they typically do a good job of, running you off the three-point line. Off the Celtics to shoot a ton of threes, but they got guys that can put their head down and get to the rim. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum can all get to the rim and score as well. And if Miles Turner's not there, oh man, it could be a buffet, barbecue chicken. All kind of Pacers points to be, all kind of Celtics points to be scored. Justin says he did play the Celtics team total over 122. Going to be on his card. Dropping Dimes is from Indiana. He says this game feels like the world will be on the Celtics. He's going to stay away. Eventually, they won't cover his spread. I'm with you there, Dropping Dimes. I don't like to play against the playoff revenge either. Boomer says total game under. It's all about the Celtics. It's about time the Celtics score less. Okay. We'll see how that goes. Whip says Hauser being back is a good point too. Actually like that Peyton Pritchard under 3 a little more now. Yeah, it looks like he's going to play. At least that's what I saw. I think Sham reported it yesterday. Mitchell says, hey, Chris, are you breaking up? You are breaking up a lot on the stream. Hard to hear you a little. Your mic is a little spotty, just a heads up. Sound going in and out. I don't know why. Let's see. Let me mute myself and unmute myself. Maybe that'll work. Man, let's see. What about Mike? Looks like it's good. What about now? Is that better? Now let me know if that sounds better or not. 5-star says gotta fade the Pacers early in the season. All Talk says I'm good now. Okay. Let me know if that happens again. Let's get through 2 more games real quick. Next one, my Los Angeles Lakers will be in Cleveland. Getting 5 points against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Total in this one was at 225. This morning it's actually coming back up 225.5. I see at bet 365. 224.5 I see as well. This was at 227 last night when the lines first came out yesterday. This wasn't even last night. It was yesterday evening before the games kicked off last night, and I was already kind of eyeing this under here. I did play under. Full disclosure, I'm on the under in this game. I sent it out last night. I think the line was 226.5. I think on FanDuel was the best number. This was at 228 though when I started handicapping the games yesterday. So injury report first and foremost. You got a Laker team that could be without their starting point guard, D'Angelo Russell. He is listed as questionable. I'm not sure if he's going to play that. I know lower back soreness. I feel like those are the injuries that you don't play through all the time. So I think his status is clearly up in the air. Austin Reeves is listed as probable for this game. He has a left knocking to it. And Lakers, of course, continue to be without Jared Vanderbilt, Christian Wood, and Loco. They have not played yet. On the Cleveland side, it's the same, right? It's just Craig Porter Jr., Craig Porter, Imani Bates, and Max Strus, who haven't played, at all either. So for the Lakers, couple different things I like for the under. Especially, first of all, I like D'Lo, potentially not playing. Even if he does play, I think that the Cleveland Cavaliers, if D'Lo plays and he's not 100%, that could help Cleveland out a lot. Cleveland is a team that does a really good job guarding the rim, but let me not get ahead of myself. So Lakers, 4th game in 6 nights. This is the second of a massive road trip that's at least 5 games for them. Of course, they lost to the Phoenix Suns just 2 nights ago in Phoenix. So now you get the first game on the East Coast. Ron is going back to Cleveland, where he's typically played well. The Lakers have won 7 of the last 10 games. And both of the games that they did beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, both games last season, and they covered those numbers. The Cleveland Cavaliers also in the 4th game in 6 nights. They got a big game against the Orlando Magic coming up on Friday. Not potentially too much of a look ahead spot for them, but for Orlando, who's laying, that number is getting bigger in that game against Chicago, may be a potential look ahead spot with the playoff revenge angle for Chicago and against Chicago and then in Orlando's. But anyway, back to this one. I talked about D'Angelo Russell a little bit earlier when somebody made the comment about Lakers not playing as well without him. And you can look at it 2 ways. JJ Redick wasn't the coach last year. You had Darvin Ham, who was clearly not as, so far, not as good of a coach and not as good of a motivator of these same teams. But also, just this season so far, you wouldn't think that D'Angelo Russell will have such an impact. The Lakers are -12 in points scored per 100 possessions with D'Lo. They're getting outscored by about 12 points with D'Lo on the bench so far this season. D'Lo in the game, they're plus 10.9. So winning by about 11 points per possession with D'Lo on the floor so far. The Lakers have been playing through Anthony Davis a lot. If you've been paying attention to watching their games, listening to JJ Redick, that does not bode too well here. Jared Allen is a pretty good defender. He anchors that defense. The Cavs are 4th in opponent points, paint points so far this season. Not giving up a lot of points down there. They're also 4th in opponent rim accuracy so far this season. So teams are not scoring down there, and they're shooting a pretty poor percentage. If Anthony Davis struggles to score the basketball, Cleveland forces the Lakers to shoot, threes and not score inside. That does not bode well for the Lakers. The Lakers are not a great 3-point shooting team. They shot the 3rd fewest threes so far this season. You got the Cleveland Cavaliers, who ranked 4th in defensive rating. LeBron was admitted that he was a little bit under the weather. His voice was affected. He was a little hoarse. He had to hit a 3 late in that game against Phoenix to even keep his streak of scoring 10-plus points alive. And he shot really, really poorly. If we get a big run game, like a potential bounce back game, it wouldn't surprise me because he is in Cleveland, where he's from. But if he's under the weather in this game again, that could really, really doom for a lot of points being scored in this game, especially with D'Angelo Russell being questionable. I also looked at the pace. Lakers 19th in pace, Cavs 13th in pace, and neither one of these teams are playing really fast. And then the trend that I had that really backed all of it up and kind of put the bow on it for me was since the 2018 season, when teams are playing their fourth game in 6 nights, within the first 5 games of the season, you typically see unders. 80, 52, and 7 to the under. That's 61%. So I did play under in this game. I think we see a lot of defense in this one. Cavs, like I said, play really good defense. I'm expecting the Lakers defense to be a little bit better as well. The attention to detail that they get really great game, both on the offensive and defensive end, feels like they're kind of being overlooked, specifically on the defensive end. I like under. Under, best number you can get right now, it looks like it's 220. 225 and a half. I played 226 and a half, I think, last night. Under. Let's see if you guys have thoughts on that. What up, Tariq says, good morning, finally caught your show. Grizzlies trifecta after the Nets overtime. I'm gonna talk about that at the end. Tariq, I'm glad you reminded me, but I think I did put it on the short list already. What's up, sincerely? He says, Cavs eating tonight. Thomas likes the Lakers. Appreciate you, 5-star. Nat says, gotta play LeBron at 22 and a half. I know his usage down this season, but he always gets up for Cleveland. Yeah, I didn't even look at Bron points prop, but that makes a ton of sense for me. Like I said, if Anthony Davis is, going like this will be the best center that he's played against so far this season. With Jared Allen and Evan Mobley kind of, I'm not saying that they're going to stop Anthony Davis, but it's going to be a little bit difficult. Like, they're going to make Anthony Davis work, for sure. 5-star says he's taking the points with the Lakers here. Appreciate you for stopping in, Justin. Jam says he's going to fade this game. Whip says Cavs looking good this season. Allen and Mobley have been hitting for us. Look pretty good, man. Tyrone says 180 people watching, only 47 likes. Come on, family. These likes, man. He's getting us to the back. I'm trying my best. And if you guys hit the like button, it does help out a lot. I'm not sure what's going on here. Like, yes, I'll check out the audio when I get done. What up, Vaughn? Appreciate you for tapping in. Let's see if we can get through. Is there one more game that I want to talk about? Nah, that's we've been through 4. So let's jump into a quick recap. I bet Charlotte last night at 5.5. I still like it at 6.5. I know it's not going to be a popular opinion today, but I just think without Scotty Barnes, I'm not expecting Emmanuel quickly to play. Charlotte having a major rest advantage here. I probably would still play if I can get a 6. 6.5 should probably be good. I know it's crazy to think you're laying points for Charlotte, but I do like Charlotte a lot today. I play under 226.5 in this game that we just talked about. That Boston and Indiana game, I do like the over. We didn't talk about Atlanta and Washington, but this is a primetime bounce back spot for the Atlanta Hawks. I know that they haven't covered the spread so far this season, but I do think that they get a spread here. I did give out the -4 last night. Kind of wanted to wait, but I thought the number would move. It's up to 4.5. I think pretty much everywhere now. When you get these teams that just lost as a favorite, then they're a road favorite, you typically want to play on them in this spot. And that's what we just saw, in the Houston and San Antonio series. So the trend says that if you're playing the same team within 3 days, you were a favorite and you lost in the last game, but then you're a road favorite in the next game, 93, 62, and 3 to against the spread, which is a little over 60%. Average line at 4.5, which is where this line is today. I like Atlanta in this spot. You got a 3.5 when it open. Kyle Kuzma is out for people who don't know. Hopefully DeAndre Hunter plays. I already saw that Bogdanovich is out. Jackson Daniels is out as well. But the Atlanta Hawks are actually better without Jackson Daniels on the floor when I was looking at it last night as well. I think without Kuzma, the Wizards don't want to win 2 games in a row. They don't want to win 2 games in a row, man. So I will lay the short number with Atlanta. I didn't talk about them in the breakdown, but I wanted to share that. And then somebody just mentioned Memphis. I do think that they go clear way up and over. They're 118.5 when their team total. The spread is a little too rich for my blood at 11.5. But Memphis first half team total, Memphis full game team total, I think should be good numbers. Memphis, if you've been paying attention, have run out of gas late in games so far this season. They just gave up a big lead to the Chicago Bulls and ended up losing that game. They gave up a big lead to Orlando. Still ended up winning, but they let Orlando go on a 21-0 run, I think it was, or 18-0 run, something like that 2 games ago. So I like Memphis early. I think first half team total, full game team total, Oakland should be in a super flat spot. They will be without Nicholas Claxton on the second leg of the back-to-back, but I do think that they get Ben Simmons back. Ben Simmons missed, so Coach Jordy Fernandez said that they're not going to play him in back-to-back games. He did not play last night against Denver, so I am expecting him to play in tonight's game against Memphis, but I don't think that matters much. I talked about it yesterday. They've been playing better without Ben Simmons on the floor. So either way, I think Memphis plays fast. I think they get up and down the floor. And I think that they score. I just haven't locked that one in yet, which is why it's in red. But the 3 plays that are green are 3 plays that I'm on for today, man. And that'll be the show. Resources, I already talked about jaXon. The referral code is in the description of the video. There's a link that's in the description of the video if you guys are interested in signing that out. Keep in mind that whatever tier you sign up for is the tier you get 50% off of. So if you sign up for 1 month, you get 50% off for 1 month. If you sign up for a full year, you get 50% off for a year. So just keep that in mind when you're making your financial decisions. If you are interested in signing up and using jaXon, moneyballer.com. As always, I talk about it. I promote it because it just has all of the situational stuff, so I don't have to go in and do all that deep diving and digging to try to find it. So you can cap the games a lot more efficiently and effectively, in my opinion, and it'll help you be profitable. And then IceJam, I use the sportsbook screens page that I talk about all the time. You see where these numbers start to move. What book has what number without having to go through all the sportsbooks at the same time. So these are resources that I always like to share with you guys. Best of luck on all your action, man. If you're still watching, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, send the show to your coworker, your friend, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, send it to everybody, man. Tell them the ChrisBeCappinn Show starts at about 7:45 a.m. Be cashing tickets here, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Enjoy your Wednesday. I'll catch you guys in the next